Today for low intensity strength training, you're going to need a pair of dumbbells and a mat or someplace where you can comfortably kneel and lay on the floor. My name's Laura and I'm ready to get started. I hope you are. So let's come to your mat. And we're going to start laying down today. You can have your feet flat on the floor. We're going to do a move here I call floor angels. Pretend like you're in the snow making a snow angel. Thankfully, we are not laying in cold snow. A few here, warming up the shoulders, opening up the chest. If your arms don't stay on the floor, that's fine. And if you want to put something under your head, that's great as well. One more. We'll be coming back to these moves in our warm-up as recovery through our strength session. So you'll see them again. And we're going to transition into dead bugs. So legs reach up toward the ceiling, arms as well. I'm going to lower my opposite arm and leg while the other two stay up. So you might find that the up arm and leg want to move too. Can you keep them still? So there's a lot of core and a lot of coordination. Warming up our core. If you want to lift your head off the floor and engage your core a little bit more, you absolutely can. You can also keep it down. If you know you have high blood pressure or are on blood pressure medication, then you want to try and keep your head above your heart so you can lift your head off the floor or put something under it. One more each side. Nice. All right, we're going to come up now and we're going to go into a little bit of into knee hand position for a little bit of rocking. We rock our hips toward the heels and then come forward. So we want to use this to really get the hip joints and the shoulder joints warm. And so you're going to push as you go back, the hips go toward heels with the arms, and then pull yourself forward. A lot of times this just becomes about the lower body, but I want the upper body active as well. So we're pushing back, pulling forward. This time push yourself back and then reach forward. Keep your head above your heart if that's more comfortable for you. Or you can go down to more full child's pose, really stretching out the upper body and the shoulder. Excellent. We're going to shift back again, but this time we're going to sit up and come into a lunge, and we're going to reach forward. So my left leg is forward in my lunge, and then I reach forward with my left arm. If you don't want to reach, that's fine. With the back arm, that's fine. Really, we're trying to open up the hip joints here. You'll probably feel a stretch. Don't worry about how far you go. Notice how the hips are feeling as you do this. Good. All right, let's come back into a kneeling position. Couple more rocks, pushing back, pulling forward. Keep moving. And if you really want to warm up the low body and upper body here, lift the knees the second pass through. So my knees are slightly elevated. My core is stable here. Not feeling it in my low back. Hopefully you aren't either. All right, this time push yourself back and then stay back. Left leg or right leg goes forward this time. Second leg and reach. So reaching forward with the same arm as the front leg. Opening up the hips. So your pelvis might face the front to start, but then it's going to turn as you move forward. Good. One more time on the side. All right, let's come up out of this lunge. Find your standing position, and you're going to cross your right leg in front of your left leg. If you need a wall or a chair for balance here, you can use it. We're going to work a little bit of balance into our strength today. So we're working hip range of motion. So we're reaching the leg back out and around, and then crossing in the front again. 2 more times on the side. Lift up, go wide, reach it back, and then bring it even with the other knee. Reach that knee back, over, out and around, and in front. One more time. Again, this isn't, I want this to be about your hip opening up here, not necessarily about balance. So feel free to hold on to something. All right, next side. I'm gonna stand on this is my right leg. If you're mirroring me, you're on your left. Cross that opposite leg over, reach it up, back and around, and return the same way that you came. Nice. Hopefully we're getting warm here. It's our 3rd time on this side. And return to the start position. All right, like I said, I hope you have a pair of dumbbells here because we're gonna get started. We have 6 exercises today. We're gonna go through, do each exercise for 30 seconds and then transition to the next one. I intentionally make you get up and down off the floor between every single one today. So let's get started. We're gonna start in the standing position. I'm just gonna hit that timer so we can get started. We're gonna do a split squat, which looks like a lunge, but we don't move our feet. So we're here, up and down. I'm doing a body weight split squat this first time through, but you might want to do weights on either side. So if you want to use this first round as a way to warm up, let's do that. Good. Almost there with our 30 seconds on this side. And switch directions. Other foot forward, lower down, come on up. If you find that this split squat position bothers your knees, then I want you to try and keep this shin vertical in the front. So if it bothers your front knee, try and keep this front shin vertical. Moving it forward will put more pressure on the knee. If keeping that shin vertical really works the back leg, you're welcome. You can also reduce your range of motion. So you don't have to go all the way down to the floor and then back up. You can do a smaller range of motion. Almost there. All right, now that we've done both sides in the split squat, we're gonna go down, grab your weights. We're going to do a chest fly here. So you're gonna lay down on the ground, weights above your head, put something under your head if that's needed to feel comfortable, and then lower and squeeze together. So I'm lowering down, elbows slightly bent, never locked out, and bringing it together at the top. Lower down, exhale to squeeze together. Inhale down, exhale up. Excellent. Inhale down, exhale up. Good work. And that's time. You can set your weights aside. We're gonna stand back up now. We did a split squat before. This time we're gonna do a lateral deadlift. We're gonna start in the middle here, or lateral squat, excuse me. We'll save the weights for the next round. And we're gonna add in our balance. So you're gonna push yourself up and balance if you can. So go to the side, nice and controlled. Push yourself up. Can you find that balance point? Or do you need to tap your toe down? Out to the side, push up and balance. I'm stepping out with the left, pushing myself with the left and balancing on that right leg. One more. Nice. All right, let's shake it out a little bit and switch sides here. So step out with the right and then come on to balance on the left. Step out with the right, balance on the left. Good work. Step and then push yourself up to balance. No rush here. Take your time. We're going this first round with body weight for the lower body. If you find this challenging without weight, then the next time around, you don't have to add weight. You can stick with the body weight. Good. Last one. Excellent. All right, back down to the ground. Grab your weights again. All right, put something under your head if you need to. Feet flat on the floor, weight above you. This time, instead of going out to the side, we're gonna slowly lower above the head and then exhale to come up. Inhale to lower down, exhale to come up. Nice, inhale down, exhale up. You do not have to go and touch your weights to the floor. And actually, I really want you to think about engaging your core here. Squeeze that top part of your six-pack abs, right? To keep that upper body from moving around. Last one. Excellent. All right. The next move we're going to do for the lower body is our deadlift. So we're going to, I'm going to use weights for this round. If you don't want to use weights, you don't have to. All right, you ready? We're gonna reach the hips back, shins stay vertical, and stand up. Reach the hips back and up. It's an inhale back and an exhale up. Good. Inhale back, exhale up. Doing great. Notice here that my spine stays neutral as I go. I'm not rounding my back as my hips go back, and I'm not arching my back at the top. We want to keep the spine as neutral as possible here so that we're not putting any excess stress on our spine. Just a couple more, time for a couple more here. Nice work. Last one. And exhale to come up. All right, we've got our final exercise. We're gonna come back down to the floor and we're gonna do our plank. So you can do your plank here from your hands or from your elbows. If you know your wrists bother you, you might wanna stick with the elbows, but it is a little bit harder to core at that angle. All right, you ready? Step back and hold your plank. If you find holding in one position is too much, you could kind of pick up your feet and move around a little bit. Again, you can do the elbows. You can also drop to your knees if that feels more comfortable for you. And can we really engage the core here on this plank? Think about tucking your tailbone a little bit, engaging that top part of your six-pack abs. A little bit of bend to the elbow, almost there. You're doing great. And time. All right, we made it through the first round. We're gonna go through, you can grab a drink if you'd like, but we're gonna go through the pillar prep that we did, that warm up, and use it as a recovery between sets here. So all the exercises chosen for the warm up are specifically chosen to help you gain mobility for these strength exercises. So let's go back down to the floor. We've got our floor angels. We're just gonna do 5 floor angels here. So yes, we can take a break, or we can do a little light mobility work here for a couple minutes to help us recover. One more. Nice. And then reach those arms and legs up again. We'll do 3 per side. Feel free to lift the head off the ground or put something under your head and shoulders. Engaging that core. One more here. Nice. All right. Let's go back to our rocks. So this rock helps us get better range of motion for the deadlift. Reach those hips back. See how far you can reach the hips back without letting your tailbone tuck under. Good. You can reach the hips back, reach the arms even farther forward, and get more mobility through the front of the shoulders for our lat pullovers. Check in with your breathing here. All right, push yourself up. I'm stepping my left foot forward. We're just going to do 3 of our reaching lunges. Hopefully you feel like you have a little bit more space in the hip joints now. Let's switch sides. Moving my right foot forward, reaching forward, opening up those hips. One more. All right, and let's stand back up. And we've got our hip mobility. So cross over with the left leg in front of the right, and one round of this hip mobility on the left leg. Good. Switch sides, one round on the right side. Nice. All right. We've got our next round of strength here. Hopefully that mobility, that recovery set, working on that mobility felt good, because we're going into our split squat again. So get set here. You can add your weights this time. So you can either hold them up in the front or keep them down here. I like to hold them up front. You can also do one weight. So you can do it kind of like a goblet split squat here. Whichever feels comfortable, whatever weight you can manage today. Notice my range of motion is a little bit smaller now that I added weight. That works for me. All right, let's switch sides here. I now have my second foot in front, got my weights ready here, and let's go. Lower down, come back up. Again, we want to make sure in our split squat, sometimes called a lunge, but our feet are set in place. So we're calling it that split squat. I want you to make sure you're using your back leg too. So try not to let all the weight drift to that front leg and then push back and even out at the top. I want you to keep the work in the back leg too as you lower down. All right, done with that one. You can keep your weights for our transition into the chest flies on the ground. Lay on your back, reach up overhead, and reach out wide. Elbows never lock out. We did those floor angels before to help us prep for these. Inhale down, exhale up. Excellent. Less than 10 seconds left here. And that's the last one. Bring the weights down. We've got our balance, our lateral squat with balance here. All right, so start with the feet together. We're going to step out to the left first. And step out to the left, weight on either side of the leg, and then press up into your balance position. It's nice to keep the weight down on these because it actually lowers our center of gravity, making balance a little bit easier. So we step out, then come up into a balance position. Good. Last one. Nice. Shake out a little bit. We're going to step to the right this time, and we're going to head with those weights on either side of the leg, press up to that balance position. If it helps, you can inhale down, exhale as you create that quick motion to get you more balanced here, get you upright faster. Nice work. Weight on either side. If your knee bothers you, or if you feel like your hip range of motion is there, you can slip slightly to the front. And you can add that into the next round if that sounds good to you. Bring the weights. We've got our lat pull overs here. Back to our ground position. Weight above the head. We're going to lower down toward the floor and lift back up to the ceiling. We're going to make sure that our arms are mostly straight, but they're not locked out here. If you find that your back starts arching as your arms go overhead, stop your range of motion right there. We don't want to add a back arch into this exercise. We want to work the lats, those big muscles in the back. All right, next exercise is our deadlift. So come back up to standing. And you can have your weights in either hand. My ankles are about my hip width apart here. And let's get started. Reach the hips back. Exhale to stand up. Hips go back. Exhale to stand up. Again, I'm trying to do everything I can to keep pressure off my knees. And more importantly, on a deadlift, maybe not more importantly, but on this deadlift, I really want to use the back of my thighs and the back of my hips, my glutes, to make this move, to power this move. And if we have our knees slide forward, it uses a lot more the front of the thigh. Almost there. Inhale down. As you reach those hips back, exhale up. Nice job. All right. Last move here, back down to the floor. We've got our plank exercise. Again, if you want to, you can put your hands or your elbows down on the ground and then step on back. All right, it's time, let's go. A lot of times on these planks, what I see people do is they'll arch their back a lot and they'll drop. So we really want to engage the front of the core. That's what planks are for, right? To get work on those abs, work on stability around the torso. So you can tuck your tailbone, bring your rib cage down a little bit. Think about engaging the top part of your six pack, and that'll give you a more solid front of your core. Less arching in the low back. Almost there. And that's time. All right. If you need a drink, grab a drink really quickly, and then we're going to move back into our recovery moves. So once you have your drink, we're back down to the ground and doing a few floor angels. This is our last round of recovery before our last set of our strength exercises. Nice. And then take the arms up overhead, legs as well. You can have your knees bent here if that's more comfortable. And then opposite arm, opposite leg lower. We're trying to get the core really strong and ready for that plank here. So notice if your back starts to arch or push harder into the ground. We want to have the core stay pretty neutral here as we move the arms and legs. Good. All right, let's sit up, come into our knee hand position. We're going to do I call these pushing and pulling rocks. So we're pushing and pulling with these rocks here. Nice. And from here, you're going to come up into the lunge, starting with my right foot forward this time. We'll reach just a couple times. Hopefully by now, you're feeling pretty loose through the front of the hips. Switch sides. Quick recovery here. Good. And then we'll stand up, cross the left in front of the right ankle, and move that hip range of motion. Hopefully by now the balance seems easier and the hips are more open. Second side. Good. All right, from here we've got our last strength round. So grab your weights again. This is going to be a lightning round. So we're going to go into our split squat. Weights up. We're going to do shorter of each in this last round. Oh, got about 6 in there. Let's switch your front foot and lower down. Good. Nice and controlled. Let's move back down to the ground. And press up overhead and lower down for that chest fly. Inhale down, exhale up. Nice work. Good. 2 more. That's 1. Inhale down, exhale up for your last one, and you can bring the weights down. We've got our lateral step with balance. So we're going to go step to the left, weight on either side of the leg, and come up into that balance position. Step, push off, balance. Step, push off, balance, good. Nice. So we're building a little bit of power in that push off leg and that muscular endurance, the ability to stop the motion with the stance leg. Let's switch sides. All right, stepping to the right, coming up to the left leg, to the right, up to the left. You're doing great. We're getting through these here. 1 more. And back to stance. All right, now we go down to the floor for our lat pullovers. Always take the time you need as I'm having you go up and down to build in a little bit of endurance here. We've got that weight overhead, and we can begin with lowering. Really engage the core here. Kind of like on that dead bug when we were lowering, lifting and lowering our legs. We don't want to be arching the back here. Almost there. Let's get 2 more in this lightning round. Exhale up, good. Bring the weights down. Come up however is comfortable to you for our last set of deadlifts. All right, shake out if you need to. And let's go. Reach the hips back and come on up. It's a different angle than I've shown you the other 2 rounds. This forward angle. Almost there. Let's do 1 more. All right, you can set the weights aside. We just have our plank left. So come down to the ground. Find the way that the plank feels best to you. I'm going to go to my elbows for this last one. And then step into the plank. I know everyone loves planks, so we will do their full 30-second plank here. You know, even though it's a faster round. Who doesn't love a good plank? You can engage your core by tucking that tailbone, which engages the lower abs, engage those upper abs by bringing your rib cage down a little bit and into the body. And that's 30 seconds. Nice job. Grab a drink of water. We made it through 3 rounds. We did our recovery, hopefully between our sets. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit loose. But we will finish with a cool down and a stretch. We're gonna go into, for the stretch, we're gonna go into that lunge, and we're gonna lunge a little bit differently here. I'm gonna have you tuck your tailbone. You might feel just by tucking your tailbone that you have a stretch somewhere along the front of this leg. And if you already feel a stretch, great. You're doing exactly what I want. But if you want more stretch, you're gonna move the whole pelvis forward. And think of your pelvis, either side is like headlights. You want to keep them pointed forward. So it's not like the reaching lunge we did in the warm-up and in the recovery sets. We want to keep the pelvis forward so we really keep the stretch on the front of the quad here. And then let's switch sides. Other foot goes in front. Tuck the tailbone again. That tailbone tuck gives us a little bit of tilter. Oftentimes in this, our pelvis is tilted forward. You think about like a bowl. The bowl is spilling out the front. So when we tuck, we're actually getting it back to a more neutral position. Pelvis into a more neutral position. So we tuck, and then you can go forward with the whole pelvis if it's available to you. If you already feel a big stretch just with the tuck, then enjoy it. Couple more breaths here. Right, we're gonna sit down and you're gonna have your arms back behind you. The feet can be flat on the floor or up on the heels, whatever feels more comfortable. And then from that position, you're gonna drop your knees from side to side, a little windshield wiper. So still an active recovery here. We've worked a lot around the hips today. So I wanna make sure we do some gentle movements there and nice stretches around the hips. It doesn't matter how far your legs go. Just go as far as is comfortable. So if it's much smaller and up here and that's your limit, that's great. There's no need to try to match anything that I'm doing. All right, we're gonna combine some lower body stretches with some upper body ones. We're gonna start with a V-sit. Your V-sit is gonna look different than my V-sit. If you feel really uncomfortable sitting like this with your hips down on the floor, grab a yoga block, roll up your yoga mat, put it on a pillow, blanket, whatever you can find. You can even sit up in a chair and find the V-sit that works for you. But if you're feeling like you're really hunched and rounded in this on the floor, then adjust. Bring the floor up to meet you where you're at. We're gonna bring the left arm across the body. And breathe. So we're sitting in the V-sit. We're not, a lot of times when we're in a V-sit like this, there's lots of you can reach and do things, but we're just sitting here is getting us to stretch. And then we're focusing on that upper body stretch for the back side of the upper body. Let's switch sides, bring it on across. Hopefully your breath, your heart rate has come down as we've been working on our stretching and active cool down. All right, let's bring the arm across. Now we're gonna go into more of a butterfly sit. And have your feet together, feet apart. Try to get the heels together. It doesn't matter how close or far. So find that happy place for your body today. And then from here, we're going to reach the arms back and open up the chest toward the ceiling. So not a big arch in the back, just a slight tilt so we can of the rib cage so that we can get the shoulders to be pulled back by gravity, just a little bit. All right, bring that back in. You can reach the legs out in front and reach towards your toes or towards your shins, knees, whatever it may be. Again, if this is really uncomfortable to be in this leg out position, I encourage you to lift the floor up a little bit so that your body can find a more comfortable place as you reach forward. So this will get the back of the leg, hamstrings. If you pull your toes towards your shins, you're gonna get more calf. Enjoy that. And it'll also get low back here. All right, last but not least, we're gonna finish in child's pose. So hopefully at this point, your beats per minute have come down a little bit. We're shifting our hips back toward our heels and reaching forward. You can let the head relax down. Again, if you have high blood pressure, take medication for that. Even if it's normalized, you want to keep the head above the heart, so you might be up a little bit higher, or you put your hands on a chair or a wall if you want to stand and do it. Take a couple deep breaths. Relax the back of the neck. And let the weight of the floor support you. Let the floor support the weight of your body. And whenever you're ready, you can come back up and come out of it. Thanks for being here today at Low Intensity Strength Training. I'm Laura, and I hope to see you again soon. Be on the lookout for the new April schedule, which will be coming out soon. All right, have a great day.